Yo, what's up, folks? It's your boy Sports PSP in the building. Hope everyone's enjoying the rest of their Friday. Want to talk about some NFL news regarding Russell Wilson. According to a report from The Athletic, Russell Wilson tried to get Pete Carroll and John Schneider fired. Pete Carroll, the head coach, and John Schneider, the general manager of the Seattle Seahawks, fired. This is going back to February of 2022. I'm reading the rest here from an article from ESPN. According to the report, Wilson asked Seahawks ownership in February 2022 to fire Carroll and general manager John Schneider with the hopes that the team would hire Sean Payton to be the head coach. Now, according to Russell Wilson, once he heard the allegations, he denied it. This is what he tweeted on social media. I love Pete, and he was a father figure to me, and John believed in me and drafted me as well. I never wanted them fired. All any of us wanted was to win. I'll always have respect for them and love for Seattle. Russell Wilson's attorney denied the allegations as well, saying that the report from The Athletic was, quote, entirely fabricated. The Seahawks also declined comment to The Athletic. So, look, Russell Wilson, as we all know, he was traded to Denver, and Seattle in return received first and second round picks, as well as Drew Lock. And we saw in 2022, Seattle won the trade because they went forward with Geno Smith. And Geno Smith had by far the best year of his career, taking the Seattle Seahawks to the playoffs, in which not a lot of people anticipated. On top of that, he won Comeback Player of the Year and made the Pro Bowl. Meanwhile, for Russ, during his first year in Denver, he had the worst year of his career. Okay, and Denver did give Russell Wilson his contract, the money that he wanted, which was a 5-year, $245 million contract, as well as $165 million guaranteed. And his first year in Denver with Nathaniel Hackett, the head coach, 5-12, which also led Nathaniel Hackett being fired before the season was over. And now Denver, of course, they've moved on. They hired Sean Payton. Sean Payton will be the new head coach for the Denver Broncos. And let me just read you the rest of this paragraph from ESPN.com. The Athletic also detailed issues with Wilson's first season in Denver, with players, coaches, and staff members questioning some of the control the quarterback had. Examples included weekly private meetings with the offense held by Wilson, an office for Wilson located away from his teammates, play suggestions from Wilson that Hackett would add to the game plan, and personal staff members the quarterback was allowed to have in the team facility. So it does put into perspective on what Denver did for Russell Wilson, apparently. They apparently gave Russell Wilson so much control, and they gave Russell Wilson preferential treatment. And let me just read the last couple of paragraphs. Sean Payton appeared to stifle some of Wilson's power earlier this month when the coach said at his introductory news conference that Wilson's personal quarterback coach, Jake Heaps, would no longer be in the Broncos facility. This is what Sean Payton said back in February 6th. I'm not too familiar with that. This is when Sean Payton was asked about Russell Wilson having Heaps in the building with access this past season. That's foreign to me. That's not going to take place. I'm unfamiliar with it. Our staff will be here. Our players will be here. And that will be it. And he promised, and Payton also promised to Wilson, as well as the rest of the Denver Broncos players, that they will be held to his standard. Quote, you have law and order, as Bill Parcells would say. You come in with this is how we're going to teach, this is how we're going to meet, this is how we're going to practice. Discipline, toughness, and football makeup is going to be real important for who is a Denver Bronco. There's an element of discipline, there's an element of toughness, and look, it's not for everyone. So, what are my thoughts that Russell Wilson allegedly wanted Pete Carroll and John Schneider fired? It just seemed like once allegedly Russell Wilson tried to do that, Seattle were like, we're done. Let's just move on from Russell Wilson. Also, it was reported that Russell Wilson wanted a big contract from Seattle, but Seattle was like, no. So they wanted to move on from Russell Wilson. They shipped him to Denver. Seattle, in return, got multiple first and second round picks. And like I said, they won the trade because of Geno Smith, the year that he had, taking them to the playoffs. Meanwhile, you look at Denver, 5-12 season. What it also tells me, according to the report from The Athletic, is that Russell Wilson apparently is uncoachable. Russell Wilson carries himself in ways like he's above everyone else. I mean, having a private office to yourself, being allowed to call plays, being distant from your teammates. I mean, that's not the type of things you would want to hear from any teammate, especially someone who plays the quarterback position. So Russ is going to have to try to cultivate relationships with his teammates. And look, this is not the first time that's been said about Russell Wilson. Former teammates, particularly Richard Sherman, Marshawn Lynch, they've criticized Russell Wilson. They've given their assessment on him. So it tells me that Russ is not as squeaky clean as what the media and the public views him. It seems like to me it's just all a front. Their teammates, his teammates, whether former or current, they're around Russell Wilson every single day, and they know exactly how he thinks. They know exactly how he's wired, how he operates. So that tells me a lot about that. And it also tells me with Russ, if he doesn't get it together in 2023, this might be it. Because with Denver, with the new ownership, they can just eat up that contract and they can just move on from him. And even though normally coach or quarterback, normally you always go with the franchise quarterback. But in this situation in Denver, this is a unique situation because it seems to me Denver, they don't care about moving on from Russell Wilson. They're just tired. And it seems like they made a mistake by trading up for him and giving him the money because they look at all the other quarterbacks they've had. Drew Lock, Paxton Lynch, Trevor Siemian, Teddy Bridgewater, Joe Flacco, all of them. All those quarterbacks, Brock Osweiler, all those quarterbacks didn't look as bad as Russell Wilson last year. Russell Wilson was worse. And the reason why he looks worse compared to them because no one expected that much from those quarterbacks compared to Russell Wilson. So with Sean Payton there, look, if Sean Payton doesn't get it done, he's going to receive a lot of criticism as well. But I think that Denver they're going to try to move on from Russell Wilson because they feel like, look, because of the new ownership and because the new ownership is worth a ton of money, they can just eat up that contract and perhaps they can move on from Russ and who knows, get another quarterback, maybe in the draft. They should look at the draft. So those are my thoughts about the situation. It tells me that Russell Wilson is not what the media and the public view him to be. He's not as squeaky clean as what a lot of people say he is, particularly people like Fox Sports 1's Colin Cowherd. It tells me that Russell Wilson is his own person and carries himself in ways that teammates have a problem with. And apparently, according to the reports from The Athletic, Russell Wilson is not about team. Russell Wilson is about himself. And I've criticized Russell Wilson. I've said before, he comes across as corny as far as off the field with the Subway commercials or when he says Broncos country, let's ride, or Mr. Unlimited or anything else that he's doing. He's just trying to show people something that he's not. He's just trying to show people that he has personality, and I don't think he really has that much personality, if anything. And you can fool the media, you can fool the public, but your teammates. And that's something that Shannon Sharpe has said. And Shannon Sharpe has been very critical of Russell Wilson. So it just tells me it looks bad for Russell Wilson. And it's fair to say that Russell Wilson is labeled as a coach killer. And that's not a type of thing you want to be known for. That's how I look at it. But anyway, let me know in the comment section below, guys. What do you make of the report that Russell Wilson, according to The Athletic, allegedly tried to get Pete Carroll and John Schneider fired? Do you think this is another indication of as who Russell Wilson is as far as a teammate? Do you think Russell Wilson is difficult to coach? How much pressure he will be on heading into 2023? How much pressure this will also be on Sean Payton? And if Denver, if they can't get it done in 2023, is it time for Denver to just move on from Russell Wilson once and for all? Other than that, it's your boy Sports PSP. Hope everyone's enjoying the rest of their day, and God bless.